Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Hamna and I'm starting these sessions called Light Upon Light, which are all about connecting to the word of Allah, connecting to Him and finding His presence closer to us. I'm going to try and speak in Urdu and in English just so that we can connect at deeper levels through both languages because Alhamdulillah, we all speak that language. If anybody has a problem in understanding anything, please make sure you do ask me questions after the session so I can clarify what it is that I was saying. Through these sessions, my intentions, just a little personal history about me and my connection to Allah was absolutely zero. I had absolutely no connection with Allah, and I used to find that very proud of myself. Mujhe kisi ki zarurat nahi hai kind of thing. And the way Allah brought me close to Him and how He completely turned my life upside down, that Aaj, in this time, there is nothing but Him in my life. And so I wanted to share that when He chooses to bring us closer to Him, it is not about us. It's about His love towards us. He's saying to us that, come towards me, because that's all there is. There is nothing more important than Allah. And once He makes Himself clearly visible to you, nothing else in the world will give you any kind of peace other than Allah. So when we start reading the book, my own understanding of Quran was that it is a whole bunch of Arabic words. Living in the Middle East, I studied Arabic, I used to speak Arabic, I used to have Arabic friends, but still the word of Allah did not sink in at that point in time because I was not ready for it. And itni samajh bhi nahi thi, itni understanding bhi nahi thi. And to be honest, इतनी मोहब्बत भी नहीं थी शायद उससे कि मैं उसको समझने की कोशिश किसी भी एंगल से कर सकती. So the book was just a very normal book. And coming from a Pakistani Asian background, it was always put up on a shelf, covered in a very pretty kapda. I was always fascinated by the brocade and the gota of the kapda than I was of the book itself. And that I think it's so funny. That's how we live our life, looking at Quran, putting it up there, but then what's in the Quran is just few words, few lines, few pages. And yes, they all look very pretty. And the idea of drawing or being inspired by the word of Allah has nothing to do with me or with you. It is very clearly that He wants us to go through this experience because nothing happens without His will. जब हम तैयार होते हैं, वो हमें तैयार करता है. That is when He opens these doors to us for us to come closer. It's like He's going to open this tunnel today, and it's going to be something that you will walk in with me every week, one step at a time, and I will break it apart so that we don't have to understand Quran. It is something that becomes you. So you will live Quran. You will become it. The word will be absorbed in your blood, in your cells. And we will go one by one, ayat by ayat, small bits, because the Quran is huge. The knowledge there is huge. So we can't just go, boom, I know what Quran is. So that's why it's all going to be broken down. And today, I've literally taken the first three alphabets, Alif, Laam, and Meem. And through that, I've created this whole experience for you. Now, through my sessions, the first part is engagement of your mind. Second part is engagement of your body. Third part is engagement of your soul. होता ये है कि हमारी चीजें स्कैटर होती है, दिमाग कहीं और जा रहा होता है, दिल कहीं और जा रहा होता है, जिस्म कहीं और जा रहा होता है. But when we come to worship and connect to Allah, to His word, we have to be fully present. We don't come here saying, okay, ये भी कर लेती हूँ, वो भी करना है, इसके बाद मैं ये करूँगी. No, you don't worry about what you had to do, what you will do. It's all about what is He wanting you to do in this moment. With that, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I will start. This part is all about listening. So you just have to sit back, aram se, just listen. And if you feel comfortable, breathe in and breathe out. Connect to your breath if you can. So this is just becoming very mindful of the fact that he has chosen you to attend this session. Every step, every minute you spent getting ready to come here was your ibadat. And now you are going to get the reward of your ibadat. So this is what he is opening for you. You didn't do anything. We are nothing. We don't even deserve his, just the fact that he allows us to come together to just familiarize ourselves with Quran is a huge honor that he's going to give us. So I want you to really honor that feeling. My God, he thinks I'm deserving of taking his name, of his word. He thinks I am ready to be hugged by him. Like, that's the feeling. You have to really feel that ecstasy, that moment of so much love around you कि वो ये कह रहा है कि मैं चाहता हूं कि तुम मेरी किताब पढ़ो. मैं चाहता हूं. It's like, how can we not, right? So with that joy, ecstasy, love, acceptance, all of those beautiful words, we start this journey together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I do want to say, उसने आपको यहाँ बुलाया. उसने आपको यहाँ बुलाया. आप खुद से नहीं आ सकते थे. उसने आपका हाथ पकड़ा है और वही आपको आगे लेकर जाए. So Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alif, Laam, Meem, the beginning. Alhamdulillah. As I start this journey of diving deep into his words, I want to start by saying how humble it makes me feel that he would give me the permission to share all that I know with you all, with the hope and intention to bring us closer to him and his word, inshallah. The aim is not for me to share an exercise with you that you can just do and develop in the future. It is literally allowing his word to sink in you through your eyes, through your ears, through your mouth, through your whole being, and be in devotion and submission to your Allah. For him to allow us this time to come and connect to his word, to bless us with the desire to paint and beautify, enhance and deepen our connection with him, is a blessing no amount of my words could ever express. It makes me grateful to my core, to my Allah, for even considering me for this role. With his trust in me and mine in him, I start this session with gratitude to him and to all of you for being here with me. Through these sessions, my focus and intention is to bring clarity and connection, giving our full attention as to how we can best understand it and live his word, share his light, and be in deep devotion to his presence, mercy, and love. You see, it's one thing to believe in Allah and it's one thing to believe Allah, right? We can all believe in Allah, but when he says something, we have to believe him. That is where Alif, Laam, Meem comes into play. For him, it was very easy to give us anything to start with, right? The Quran could have started with anything, but he chose the three alphabets, Alif, Laam, and Meem. And we all know that Allah does nothing without a purpose. So in our hearts, we know that Alif, Laam, Meem might not mean much to us because that's how our head will operate, like Alif and Laam and Meem. What's the big deal, right? But to Allah, it does make sense. There's purpose to why he chose these three alphabets. And of utmost importance, because why else would he do it right in the beginning of the Quran? Right in the beginning, like he's starting to speak about his word and he says Alif, Laam, Meem, right? And you'd wonder, like, I mean, we take it as doesn't mean anything, it's just three alphabets. But to him, he's starting his whole book with these 3 alphabets. So do you see the importance he has been given these 3 alphabets? Alif, Laam, Meem. I'm going to repeat this constantly just so that it kind of sinks in your brain, the 3 alphabets for today. He could have chosen symbols, right? He could have drawn a little cloud or a tiny bird, or he could have done any kind of 3 words, like full proper words, mercy, compassion, or something, right? He could have done 3 words, 3 symbols, or 3 anything that he wanted. But why the 3 alphabets? Whose pronunciation we know very clearly. We can identify with these 3 sounds, right? Like la, m. We know the name, the shape, and the form of these alphabets. We know this. Like in our knowledge, we have this understanding. Ki, acha, Laam looks like this, sounds like this, right? And this is how you write the many shapes and forms of Laam that we can have. The sound of it, the form, the shape, everything is very visible to us. So our eyes can actually see and our mind can see कि ये 3 अल्फाज हैं, like 3 alphabets हैं, right? But yet, we don't know the meaning of them. So what is Allah saying to us through these alphabets? He's reminding us that we can know all we can know, but then there are things we will never know or won't know unless He wills. So right from the beginning, He speaks so clearly. It's so like transparent. There's no banality, there's no mysticism, there's nothing. It's just very clear. I'm giving you these 3 words. You will know how to say them. You will see and recognize them. Your brain will know what they look like, sound like, and you'll be able to say it with all your senses. But yet, what it means, you won't know till I will. How incredible is that? Like just that feeling. He knows. Even though we have the knowledge, we can't know because He doesn't will us for us to know. We can see the alphabets, we can say the sounds of the alphabets, you can hear the sounds, and yet we won't be able to understand its meaning, for that is how He chooses it to be for us. So He wants us to come to His word, knowing that we will not be able to understand everything. We might unravel some knowledge, but then some will remain hidden to us. And rather than questioning His word, we will have to approach His book with curiosity and an understanding that we have a limited brain, that we will not get it. We have to be forgiving towards ourselves because that's how Allah created us. We will not get everything. इसी मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा कुरान मुझे कभी समझ ही नहीं आई मुझे पता नहीं है उसमें क्या लिखा है कुरान can be very overwhelming. There's so much information, there's so much right and there's so much wrong. Right in the beginning, Allah is saying to you to take away all that anxiety that humans have and saying to us that your limited brain will not get it. It might not be able to absorb everything, and that's the way He chooses it to be. So it is what we accept about our own limitations. Through these 3 words, He is teaching us that we humans are limited in our understanding, and that's okay. That is the design that He has created us with. Suddenly your shoulders relax back and you're like, oh my God, I'm not meant to understand everything. Alif, Laam, Meem. Right? I'm not meant to understand everything. So my hard work of trying to make sense and controlling everything goes to complete waste because it's like, no matter how much you try, if it's not the will of Allah, you will not get the information because you're not meant to. So right from the start, our loving Allah tells us, even though you will be able to read, write, hear, and know, but you might not understand And that is not a fault in your design. It is the design of Allah. Now, taking this symbolically, these three alphabets teach us how in life we will go through experiences that will be visible to us. We will live them, right? We will go through certain things in our life, meet certain people, have some experiences in life, and we will not understand what's happening. You will be like, I don't know, I feel so lost. I don't know what is happening. I don't know. The thing is, that feeling when you say, I don't know what's happening, that's what Allah wants you to feel. That's what He wants you to feel, that you don't know. And you have to accept, I don't know and I can't know, because that's just how Allah's will is. Right? Suddenly you take the pressure off you. There will be things, you will live them, and we won't understand why it's happening. In those moments, we have to quickly remember Alif, Laam, and Meem. We don't understand them. Similarly, we don't understand why, what, and how a certain experience is happening in our life, but we have to be accepting of it, because when He wills, He will allow us to understand. But till then, we have to always be in acceptance of His qadar, of whatever He wills. Suddenly, the pressure from your shoulders goes away, right? Because you're like, अच्छा, जब भेजे में समझने के लिए है ही नहीं, if my mind doesn't have the capacity, you become loving towards your own mind. Oh, my poor brain. I've been forcing it to understand for so long, but actually it's just incapable. It's like a fish saying to the bird, you can't swim and you can't fly, right? It's because that's how Allah created. The fish will always swim in the water because that's how Allah created. It's not going to suddenly start climbing up the trees, right? Because that's how Allah created. That is how the design is. And suddenly you're like, okay, I don't even want to dream about the flying, because I'm actually very comfortable just swimming in the water, because that's how Allah's created me. That is His qadar. So you kind of let go of the pressure in you and you say, okay, जब बनाया ही मुझे इसलिए है कि मैं ना समझ हूँ कुछ चीजों में, it's okay. I might not be able to see the whole picture, but I believe that it is the picture that Allah knows is best for me. So it is His qadar. Now, one of the most beautiful things that happened when I was writing all this was that I got guided to the numerological value of these three numbers, which is Alif, Laam, and Meem. And the magical thing I say is because we started this year by 2024, and Alif, the value comes out to be 1, Laam comes out to be 30, and Meem is 40. And when you add them, it's the number 8. Number 8 is the number of angels carrying the throne of Allah in heaven, also the number of gates of heaven. So in my heart, I was like, okay, it was only in this year that I myself was ready to receive this knowledge, because in this moment, I could see the numerological value and understand that in this year was what Allah wanted me to come to this realization that Quran needs to be understood through art. And how can we take it further? So number 8 became like, the sign of infinity. It's the sign, the number, like I said, it's the number of angels carrying the throne of Allah in heaven. 8. And then I got guided to the name of Allah, which is number 8. And I was like, Acha, this is really strange, because from Quran to the 99 names, of course, I do the 99 names on Friday. And I realized, oh my God, what is happening? How do I bring the two together? And the 8th name of Allah is Ya Aziz. And I was thinking, okay, what is He trying to show me here? So Ya Aziz means it is the kind of divine strength or power that is beyond dualism of praise and blame. The strength of Al-Aziz is the power of God itself. It is the true worth, utmost dignity and strength that manifests directly from God without any intermediary. There's nothing in the middle. He's the one who gives you the strength. Repetition of Ya Aziz is an important remedy for the common human experience of feeling undervalued and worthless. And that hit me so strong. I was like, oh my God. So Pehle, he opens the door for me to understand that Alif, Laam, Meem means that you might not get the whole picture. You'll only get what I allow you to understand, Hamna. Okay? But then that leaves me feeling slightly like, oh, I wish I could know more. Maybe I needed to know more. How can I know more? Because humans, right? We want to learn more. We want to know more about Allah, more about His book. And He gives us this name connected to these 3 alphabets. And this specific name is actually for when you're feeling undervalued and worthless. Do you see the connection? He's showing you that you will feel undervalued and you will feel worthless. You will feel like you cannot gain all the knowledge. You will feel your brain will say you are not good enough to absorb all the knowledge. But He will give you, Ya Aziz, the strength to get through it all. Just because you don't understand Alif Lam Mim doesn't mean you won't understand what He wants you to, right? Ya Allah, you are guiding me to look at this name and the 3 alphabets. What are you teaching me? Whenever you will start something, it will always feel like I don't know enough. How many times have you wanted to have a dream or a spark of idea or a desire in your heart, and you've had this feeling, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I know this. I don't know if I'm enough. You know that worthless sort of feeling? But I want you to know that you know enough. You know exactly what you need to know that will help you take the next steps you need to move forward. Through my word, you are coming closer to me. Do you not know that I am guiding you to me? If you know that the one guiding you is your Allah, then do you not see I will not let you be misguided? How sweet is this? Like, how sweetly does He speak? He says that when you have those feeling of worthlessness, of not knowing enough, because the world makes you think like that, and your brain makes you feel like that, or your ego makes you feel like that, I want you to remember Alif, Lam, Meem. You know enough, because that is what I want you to know in this moment. Whatever you know is enough for you to take the next steps forward. So you suddenly take away all the judgment, you take away all the pressure of you, and you go in with the feeling, my Allah says, I am enough. Because you see, He is guiding you towards Him. He is saying, come to the session to connect to my name, to my word. He is bringing you to this place where you will be using art as a way to heal and connect to your Allah. He is guiding you to Him. How will you be misguided then? How will it not be enough? So even when you know and when you don't know, when you will do anything to please me, that I will guide you to me. So that's what He says. Whatever it is that you do, if you are doing it to please me, If you come to the session saying, I want to connect to Allah, how will He not guide you? How will He not make you the time, give you the time? How will He not provide you with the finances to attend these sessions? Because you're doing it for Him, right? How will He not guide you to Himself? You will not understand the steps. You will feel lost. You will feel uncertain. But Alif, Lam, Meem will guide you to your weakness. We all want to be strong. We all want to be like, I can do this. I am so smart. I am going to be intelligent. I can fight any battle. I'm so strong in this, that, and the other. Allah is saying to you, you are all that. Yes, great. But you are also weak. You are also going to feel unworthy. You are also going to feel broken. So don't ignore the part that is your weakness, because that is also the beauty of being you. And that is what I'm showing you through Alif Lam Meem. You will not know, and that's okay. So you can know that it is only Allah who will give you the knowledge and wisdom. And when He chooses, and His word His word is the only truth. And truth can't be manipulated, because truth is the doorway to your peace. You see, these three words are the truth. The words are the truth. The biggest truth is that you will be able to read, write, know, understand all that exists in this world. You will be able to say the word, you will be able to live the experience, but you might not understand it. And that is the truth from your Allah. When you see the truth of Alif Lam Meem, not only will you accept your own flaws, mistakes, and blunders, because you will know that the reason you made them was because you did not have the full story. You also will fully bow your head down in sajda to your Allah for only making you aware of that He chooses, making you aware of that He wills. For in both there is protection, for in both there is guidance, and for in both there needs to be acceptance by us. When your heart is filled with Alif Lam Meem, you know that no matter what makes sense or what doesn't make sense, either way are from Allah, and you submit to His will, to His word, to His guidance, to His light, and to His love. Alif Lam Meem enters our hearts today to never, ever, ever leave. Alif Lam Meem. Allowing us to connect to Ya Aziz that holds us, heals us, and reminds us that we might not see, say, hear, and know, but we have Allah guiding our steps towards Him by giving us the strength and showing us that not knowing doesn't make us worthless to Him. Not knowing doesn't make us worthless to Him. Rather, it is what He wants us to fully feel, know, and understand that we will not know things, and still He will love us, guide us, heal us, help us, and hold us. For it is He who we belong to, and to Him we will return, inshallah. I hope that gives you a lot of insight about the three beautiful alphabets. I wanted to keep the information limited and simple, just so that it's not overwhelming for any of us, because I want you to absorb the whole thing in your being, not just like hear it and walk out of it thinking, "Acha, haan, okay, koi baat nahi, we've done, Allah ka naam le liya, aaj ka din ka kaam ho gaya." Not like that. So now every step in your day, everything that you do, Alif, Lam, Meem will guide you, will hold you, will remind you. It will sit in your head, in your heart, as a way of, it's okay. It's the qadr of Allah. It is what He wants. It is His will. You'll become so submissive. You'll become so submitted to your Allah. Every sajda you will make, you will think of Alif, Laam, Meem. He is in control. He is the one guiding you. How can you be misguided? When He's written it all, when the qadr is from Him, if Alif is from Him, Laam is from Him, Meem is from Him, then He alone knows what they are for, right? And you might not know, and that's okay. So you suddenly become very forgiving towards yourself and also other people. Suddenly you start looking at people going, hang on, Alif Lam Meen, man. They don't know what they're talking about. It's okay. Allah knows. Right? I hope that's what I'm hoping that it will make you feel, is what I'm hoping. So having said that, we will start this session. If anybody wants to add something, please do so. We will be using an A4 size of paper. We open the camera and I hope you can see the screen. So I thought something really fun to do in these sessions is when we do the zikr of Allah, the grids are all over the place, right? We do all sorts of things. But when we're talking about Quran, how do you make it more sacred? How do you make the word of Allah be having a certain kind of system, a rhythm, a joy, a journey, right? But then still connected. So when you must have seen in Quran, they decorate the outer side of the page, like usually the Alhamdulillah and the Alif Lam Meen portion is very decorative, right? So there's always that fun pattern thing. And I thought that that's what we're going to do. The first grid is going to be the grid that we will repeat every session. So this grid will become like a way of breathing almost, right? It is about the inside, in breath and out breath. It has a circle, it has a triangle, it has all sorts of shapes in it. It's Islamic geometry. It is the 8-pointed star that we will create. And I thought it'd be a really nice connection to the number 8 also as we begin to Alif Lam Meen, and that sort of stays with us through the whole sessions. So Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, just normal A4 sheet of paper. Always bring yourselves into the present moment. Just relax yourselves and taking your pencil, just place your dot. Now remember, this is the beginning of you walking into the tunnel of light. And there is no going back. He is going to pull you in. So Bismillah Rahman Rahim, with this dot, you have already accepted that you belong to Allah. You've already come into this understanding. From this point onwards, all that will happen in any part of your life, in any way possible, is all a gift of Allah, and everything is going to take you closer to Him, for He is guiding you. Now, there's nothing to do with you and me. This is all Him holding you, showing you His light. With that, we will begin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. With the dot, you're going to create a 12-centimeter line. I want to sharpen my pencil because I really want sharp edges. And you'll understand why, but it'd be nice to have a sharp pencil. Take a nice deep breath in, relax your shoulders. Say thank you to Allah Mia for giving you this time. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. You're going to create a 12-centimeter horizontal line using the center point that you have. You're going to open your compass. To the 6 centimeters edge of the circle. And you're going to create your circle. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Always right and left. always right and left, because right is towards source and left is towards, left is towards source and the right is towards the world. It balances your masculine and feminine energy. It balances your heart and mind. This is what we do. It's very subtle. It's a small act of using your compass right and left, and it shifts your brain into balancing, into becoming present. That right and left both equally need your time and your attention. Your mind and your heart both equally are important. To awaken them both, to connect to Allah, are equally important. Allah did not say your brain is more valuable or your heart is more valuable. It's given us both so that we can learn from and connect to. Placing your compass at the line, horizontal line where it intersects with your circle, you're going to place your compass. You're not going to change anything in the measurement of the compass, and you're going to create a semicircle. Using the horizontal line where it intersects with the circle. On the other side, you're going to do the same thing. Semicircle. Using your protractor, you're going to place it on your center point and get your 90 degrees, top and bottom. Also, I had an intuition. It said, you know how you're creating this grid, you don't know what's coming. That is exactly what Alif Laam is, right? You can see the circle, you can see the lines, but you don't know what's coming. And that's how we have to enter the book of Allah, that we don't know what will unfold to us, but we have to be ready for magic to come, for guidance to come, for light to come, for Him to hold us. We have to be ready to be there, and with that acceptance that He is the one guiding us. He is the one holding us. Using those two dots of the 90 degrees, I got my center line. Center line cuts through the circle. Where it cuts through, I'm going to place my compass and draw a circle. So this year, 2024, is number 8. And so, Alif Laam Meem, the sound of it, when joined together, Alif Laam Meem is also the number 8. 8 is the sign of infinity. I want you to keep a focus on these words. They're important. Number 8. Why number 8? So when you look at number 8, there's no beginning, there's no end. When you look at number 8, you also see connection. That what you give is that what you get, right? The more importance you give to these sessions, to your Quran, to your understanding, to your Allah, the more you are going to receive, the more you will open yourself up to His light. When you look at the shape you've created, it will be 4 petals. So there will be 4 areas, 4 points, like this point and this point, this point and this point. So you're going to draw diagonal lines that cut through to the center. My ruler is not as big, but it should just go like in one go. So you're drawing diagonal lines inside the petals, dividing the petal into 2. And the reason we are actually doing number 8, pointed star, is to also be remembering of the throne of Allah in heavens. When we speak about the throne of Allah, it's of course saying that that's where we want to get closer to our Allah. We want to connect to Him. So every little act that we do, we want to connect to our Allah, so that we are reminded of His magnificence, His magic, His heaven, right? his throne. And so when you look carefully, there will be points, one starting from the top. I'll bring it closer so you can see. There'll be these points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there'll be these points between the petals and the vertical and horizontal line in the cross. I'm going to show it to you on the screen. You're going to join the top vertical to the horizontal, these two, not the petal one, the top vertical and the horizontal line where it intersects. You're going to create a straight line. Similarly, from the horizontal to the vertical line where in the bottom it intersects with your circle. So there'll be 2 lines that will come through like that. The top vertical line, that point gets connected to the point on your horizontal line that cuts through the circle. And then the horizontal line where it cuts to the circle on your right hand, you're going to use that point, connect it with the point which is below here in your vertical line at the bottom. And then you're going to connect these 2 lines, these 2 dots, and these 2 dots. So this will create a perfect square. Why do we need to have all these shapes in this grid? Is because when we are worshipping, we are thinking of Allah, we want to think of Allah in every possible way. Through our nose, through our mind, through our eyes, every sense of us, every breath, we're thinking of Allah. Every line, we are thinking of Allah. Every shape, we are thinking of Allah. Every creation, we are thinking of Allah. A petal reminds you of Allah. A dog reminds you of Allah. An ant reminds you of Allah. A mountain reminds you of Allah. So there's no like this or that. A circle reminds you of Allah, but the triangle doesn't remind you of Allah. It doesn't work like that. Every shape, every line, everything reminds us of Allah. So once you've done this square, which looks like this, it'll sit right here. I hope everybody's following, because if you're not, then please let me know. There's just 1 or 2 last steps. And you see where the petals are, the center petals, where the circle intersects, not the square, where the circle intersects. Inside the petal, in the diagonal line where the circle intersects, those will have 4 points. So if you can connect and create your next square using those 4 points. Just straight vertical lines would come down. Now you look at the piece and you say, oh my God, there's so many lines. And how is this even Alif, Laam, Meem, right? You know? And number 1, it's an 8-pointed star, and that number connects symbolism. I want you to now see where the star sits. It's these triangles. When you look at only the triangles, you'd be like, oh, that's where the star is. But you know, it's very confusing, right? It's like, I would like to see the star more clearly. So you take the center part, be very conscious, with an eraser, light-handedly, just erase, light-handedly, meaning that you are still able to see the background lines. just like have a little impression. I like geometry, I like seeing these lines, but if you feel like you don't want to see them, you can take them completely off. Personally, I feel like every line, every dot has got me to the next one, so I like to value every single line. But then if you feel like, nahin, I don't want it, Hamna, then please feel free. It is your Alif Laam Meem, it is your Allah, it is your guidance. I would appreciate if you listen to that. So just for my own personal clarity, I've cleaned up the inside circle, the inside area. But yet again, it's still not giving me the clarity, right? It's like, nahi, Hamna, I want more clarity. Okay, Alif Laam Meem. I'm going to go in using your compass. You're going to open your compass to the edge of the triangle. You see where the edge sits, the inside place. I'm going to open my compass to the inside of the triangle and create a circle. And now I can clearly see a space inside. And now I know that when I connect these triangles, I can darken it to bring out my 8-point star. 8 is the number of this year. 8 is the number of your guidance. 8 is for you to never forget where you're coming from. 8 is the number that also represents your soul, because your soul will never die. Your soul belongs to your Allah. It was created way before you could even know, and it will always remain there. So you see, number 8, and also notice the fact that it's a star. Where is a star? Star is in the sky. Star is in the darkness. Star doesn't just shine in the daylight. Star comes out to you when you're ready for it at night time. You have to look for the stars. Stars are something that you have to make the journey to. Stars help you to get home. Stars help you to ground. Stars also help you to look up in the sky. You have to look up. You have to have hope. You have to have dreams. You have to have desires and want to make them come true. Stars are also connected to fire. Fire is connected to light. Light is energy. Energy is soul. So it's all coming together through this one little tiny shape, coming through circles and lines and everything. Now, when you look at it, it's like, okay, but where is Alif Laam Meem? And a lot of people I know enjoy calligraphy, right? What I want you to do is, using your ruler, you see the square that you created? There were 2 squares that you created. On those lines, you're going to divide that line starting from the center into 0.5 centimeters. Just tiny dots on that line. You're not going to draw lines or anything, just on the squares. You're going to put 0.5. You're going to divide it into 0.5. Just tiny dots. You're going to divide it into tiny dots. I made a overlapped it, so I'm going to do it again. Just tiny lines marking 0.5. So a lot of you might think, okay, I don't know how to do calligraphy. And all 4 sides, please, all 4 sides, you're going to, starting from the center, you're going to divide your square. I'll just show you guys so you know what I mean. I'm trying to be as clear in my instructions, so I hope you're all following. For you on the screen, this is what it means, that this is the square. This is the square we're talking about. And I'm dividing this into 0.5. all four sides, this side and this side. So you're going to starting from the center, you're going to divide it. Notice how you now, not knowing, almost feels very relaxed, like, okay, nahi aata, nahi pata kya hoga aage, nahi aati calligraphy, nahi aata hai, padhna bhi nahi aata hai. You see, when Prophet Muhammad, the revelation was revealed to him, Allah, it was very easy for Allah to send him to a university, right? Because Hazrat Musa alayhi salam went to a university. But Allah wanted His word to come to a prophet who was pure, and everybody knew exactly that he was not educated. He had no reading capabilities. You know, have you ever wondered, like, those people who don't know how to read are able to express in other ways? Right? They listen, audiobooks, right? So you wonder, like, the revelation came to a prophet who couldn't literally read, but then he did read. There was no other way for him to read other than Allah teaching him how to read, because Allah put it in his heart. That's what Allah is doing to your heart right now. He's putting Alif, Laam, Meem in your heart. That feeling.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You made the 0.5 centimeter marks on the square line only, you know, the square which was straight, not the kind which was cutting the diamond one, right?
No. See, it's like this one, this square. It's on the screen.
Just the square one, huh?
Yes, just the square. If you see the screen, you'll be able to see which square. Can you see?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, because I haven't drawn it as yet. I just want to make sure that I know what you're doing so that I can draw it.
Oh, okay. So once you've done that, now when you look at it, you're like, Acha, what do I do next? Now, this is the part where I want to take you in for your calligraphy class. That barrier that you have, कि मुझे लिखना नहीं आता, I'm going to make it easier for you. Taking your compass, place it in the center point, literally, because it's already open to the circle of the distance of this, right? I want you to literally, a fraction, just like roll it two inwards. So you have a ring. You don't need to measure this, guys. This is just a little ring. I'll bring it closer so you can have a look. This is not out of measurement. This is just so that we can break away from the circle ring. So this is your ring of circle, and this is your circle where you will be doing your calligraphy. Okay? And using these lines, you see the dots? You're going to create your first vertical lines inside the circle, not here, not here, not here, not here, inside the circle. Now, these lines need to be really gentle, really soft, really kind, really slow. All you're doing is from top to bottom. And do not start going horizontal till I teach you, because there's something else you're going to do. You're not going to go crisscross. It's not a square grid. It's a slightly angular grid for calligraphy. So just what you need to do is the vertical lines from the top to the bottom. Inside the circle. Just inside the circle. And keep reminding yourself, Alif, Laam, Meem. What did Allah say to you through that? Alif, Laam, Meem. Notice how his knowledge is, his knowing is beyond your knowing, beyond your knowledge, beyond your mind, beyond your understanding. So how can we not trust him? When he says, I am calling you, I am guiding you, I am holding you, then how can we not trust him? How can we not know that it is Allah when all it is guiding us to him? So, for example, if the line was saying you are evil, you are pathetic, that probably is not guiding you to Allah, right? You know that the guidance is from Allah when it is something that is pulling you to Allah. It can't be from Shaitan. Shaitan can't come up to you and say, draw the 8-pointed star to symbolize Allah's throne. He wouldn't do that, would he? But then who would? Who would guide you to him? Who would guide you to your Allah? Only and only your Allah can. Only and only your Allah will choose you. Shaitan would not invite you to this session, by the way. He'll probably right now getting all fiery and angry at us. What are these guys doing? And we have to turn around and say, Alif, Laam, Meem. You see, you won't know, Mr. Shaitan. Neither do we, but we believe that it is him. See, you have to have sense of humor also connected to Allah, because Allah is actually a really, really fun lover or guide or teacher. He doesn't sit there going, do this, do that, do this, beat you up or something. No, he smiles with you when the clouds move. He smiles looking at you when you are enjoying the flight of a bird. He loves you. Love means that he is with you in your tears and sadness, but yet also in your joys. He smiles, he laughs, he has a great sense of humor if you think about it. Now the tricky part is that you're going to use, you know how there were these diagonal lines? Right, the diagonal line. So I would pick from right, which is, this is right, to the left. So I'm going to pick right to the left and create a line that passes through the center. And then I'm going to connect all the dots. So I'm creating diagonal lines. This is not a square grid, because square gives us a different way of writing. This is slightly angular. All you're doing is you're moving your ruler, connecting the dots, but keeping it inside the circle. Keep your focus on the lines. I'm just going very slowly, just so that I don't get confused with my own lines. If you guys are fast, that's pretty good too. We're not judging or racing here. We're just here to learn. One of my lines got closer. Just keep everything inside the circle. This is like a grid, the inside grid. And you're going to write Alif Laam Meem inside here. Remember how I keep saying you can hear it, you can see it, you can know it? That means you already know the shape of Alif Laam Meem. You already have the knowledge of how to write Alif, and you know how to write Laam, and you know how to write Meem. You have the grid in front of you to hold you. And so the inside part where you see this portion is where you will start focusing, and this is where your body comes into play. Your body came into play when you connected the lines to darken the star, and now you're going to use your mind. There's no need for knowing how to do calligraphy. All you know is that there's this circle here that is going to be my guide, that is my teacher, and I'm going to use the lines of the grid to do my Alif Laam Meem. And you're going to start with your hand without knowing. The best part is when you don't know. Don't plan. Where is it going to sit? How is it going to sit? Why is it going to sit? Please don't have so many questions. Just have the knowing that you will not be misguided. You are writing Alif. You are writing Alif. He is guiding you to write Alif. You are writing Laam. He is allowing you to write Laam. You do not need a teacher better than the teacher that is your Allah. Look carefully, look at the intersections, look at the points. Where does your hand go? Does it need you to do certain things? No, there's no need. You're just writing the alphabet. There's nothing to be scared, nothing to be going wrong. He is guiding you, you are enough. The grid is his hug. The grid is him holding you. So Laam, Alif, Laam, and then Meem. Alif, Laam, Meem. Try not to analyze too much. Try not to question too much. Try to go with the flow. Try to understand you're not here to be perfect. My Meem looks like a dinosaur at the moment. Who knows what it will look like later on, but as for now, it looks like a dinosaur. So I'm going to say, okay, wait, Allah, I don't want it to look like that, so I'm going to try and see if I can change the form. Make it something that will be more acceptable. Yeah, that will do. And then I'm thinking, okay, this is where the Laam sits, but I would like it to connect somewhere to my Meem. So I take my hand movement, bring it close to my Meem, and I say, okay, I want my Laam to be friendly with my Meem. And so there they are, connected to each other. Now the grid doesn't really matter, does it? Because now the forms come to play. You say, okay, grid doesn't matter, so you can erase it. The grid was only there for you to start. Now you look at the Meem. So okay, I can shift that, or however you're going, by the way. You're having a dialogue with yourself. It's nothing to do with me. I'm just saying the things that I am saying to my piece. And you could be saying, okay, hang on. You're having a dialogue with your Alif Laam Mim. Now, there's another option that you can do, which could be completely out of the blue. You'll be like, okay, I don't want to do this. I want to just do the zikr of Alif Lam Mim. So you fill the whole space up with Alif Lam Mim in the inside. And so you have your Alif Lam Mim inside a star. Now, just so you guys know, that the grid part, the part of the 8 star, is something we will do every week. And the sessions will be run on Mondays. So every week we will do the 8-pointed star, and it will become part of your psyche. So the moment you come into the session, you'll be like, boom, I know what I'm doing, right? But you still have to hold yourself and go through the process to be created together, because that's what we're here to do. We have the desire to reach a certain place, but we're going to do it all together and hold each other. And so when you go through the whole journey of your Quranic verses, this part, the outside part, will always be the same. This part, the 8-star pointed grid, will always be the same. The inside part will keep changing, because that's where the light is going to come in you. Nothing will change on the grid. This part will remain as is. There's one more circle that needs to be drawn, but I'll just do that. But this part is going to be a constant. The word of Allah is constant, is the truth. It will always be held and be preserved, protected by Allah. That will always be the same. And how you color it, how you work on it is going to be completely different every time. But the grid itself will be the same. The inside part is what we're going to be working with, changing every single time, because the inside is the light upon light. That is going to be the journey, the inside part. The outside grid is going to be the same. The last circle that you need to draw is open your compass to the edge of the petal. You see that pointed petal that you created, the 4 petals, opening it till there. And there we go. So we have, now when you look at this piece, right, there's so many lines, there's so many divisions. You can use them, color them separately, or you can erase them. You can do whatever it is that you want to, but keeping the format. Can you imagine, like, inshallah, in 2-3 years, when we look back, coming back to Alif Lam Mim, we will have like a whole collection of pieces. Of the inside will be completely different each time, but the outside is always going to be the same, saying that Quran will never change. It is us who will change through Quran. I hope that really, really, really is good for you guys. You enjoyed it. And this is what my dinosaur meme looks like, by the way. I'm showing it to you very proudly. Can you guys see dinosaur or no? I don't know if you can see it. It's like a dinosaur eye, but never mind. So thank you so much for joining. I will stop the recording just so that if you guys have any questions, you can ask me. Sounds good?
There's someone wanted to ask.